The teller. The teller. The teller.
It's another day. Left jab, right jab. This is MMA. Mixed martial arts, quick body parts, undefeated when I pick 'em. Who the champ, who the victim? Looking in my crystal ball, I predict the winner. Never stop fighting. If you lose, keep your chin up. Know how the game go. I'm a smart fella. Welcome to the show. This the MMA fortune teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller.
What's up, Sasha? Gonna bring Sasha in right now. MMA live discussion episode 27. As you guys know, we're now doing it on Instagram Live. Yeah, this works.
What's going on?
What's up, Sasha? How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing
Awesome.
great. I appreciate you giving us your time here today.
No problem, man. It's my pleasure. Give me the opportunity to get my name out there too, so it works in both ways.
Yeah, man. And so you're over in Vegas right now, right? It's about, about 7 o'clock over there?
Yeah, 7:03 right now. Just finished in the gym. I'm just sitting in my car, about to make my way home after we get done. So otherwise, it's been a good day. Where are you based? You're out in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in South Florida.
Nice.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with like American Top Team. I'm right down the street from that area over here.
I actually used to live in South Florida, in Boca, Delray Beach. I was with the Black Zillions at that time.
Okay, so I basically live like right down the street from where the old Black Zillions used to be. I'm right down the road, right over there now. So yeah, I'm over in Delray. Yeah,
Awesome.
Good stuff, man. So
Awesome.
former AFC champion. You just made your UFC debut not too long ago, and which was probably one of the craziest or best debuts I've seen in a long time. I know Michael Chandler just made a splash, but that debut you had was amazing.
Appreciate
against
that.
Louis Cosi, man. What was it like getting that call to the UFC?
It was unexpected, but I had also kind of had it programmed in my mind that it would come eventually. But the situation leading up to getting the call up was actually pretty weird because my teammate Sean Strickland, he had a fight, his first fight in 2020, and he asked me to corner him. So that was the first indication I got that I tested positive for coronavirus, and straight off of that, I was put in a 10-day quarantine without training, without working. I was just at home, and I felt the effects. I lost taste and smell. I felt a little tired for a couple of days, but nothing I haven't been through before. And then the next day after I get out of quarantine, I'm back at work, and that night I got a phone call, and they were like, "You want to fight on the 21st in the UFC?" And I said, "Let's do it." I didn't even get an opponent name or anything like that for the first, I think, 3 days, and then it didn't matter to me. I was just waiting for that opportunity. That was the whole reason I had eventually made the move to Vegas, was hoping that an opportunity would come on short notice in case, somebody got hurt, couldn't make weight. So, my whole career has been on short notices and just like opportunities that I've just jumped on. So I never had management until my last 2 fights. And, ever since getting to that point, it was just kind of be in the right place at the right time and just take the opportunities when they were given. And I've just kind of kept that mentality throughout, I guess, my whole career. And when this opportunity came up, even though I just had COVID, and I know a lot of people have like pulled out of fights because they've had COVID, but I didn't see myself in a position to like give myself that opportunity. Be like, oh no, I have COVID, I'm gonna postpone this to another. No, I was like, I gotta take it. They're giving me this interview. I gotta come in. I gotta nail it, and then and establish myself right off the bat. And even though I only had 2 weeks to get it done, it was like you said, it was the picture perfect situation. Everything just fell right into place, and like you said, it was a back and forth fight in the beginning, but once I got my groove settled in, then I started to do what I eventually usually do to everybody. So it was an awesome experience. Like I said, I couldn't have scripted it any better, but I'm super glad, and I'm super super appreciative that you appreciated my fight. You enjoyed it. I hope everybody did, and I hope I can keep bringing them more because I know on a full camp, I can do a lot more than I did in that time. So I'm excited.
Yeah, right. I mean, those are some crazy points you bring up. Taking the fight on such short notice, having COVID in such a recent time, before making your debut. I can only imagine when you have a full camp. Now you've already been inside the octagon. I'm excited to see you back in there. Um, so your opponent was Louis Cosi. This is a guy that got a lot of hype. You know what I mean? And I think it was well deserved. I mean, he was going in there taking dudes out left and right.
Yeah.
Had an exciting performance. So did his brother on Dana White's Contender Series. Were you familiar with him when you found out that was the guy you were going to be fighting?
So I actually watched his Contender Series fight, just as a fan, just just checking things out. And of course they were, highlighting the brothers, and, I always thought, the Diaz brothers, and now I got the Kosh brothers. So that's kind of cool. They signed, I think, maybe August, September. So I kind of forgot about them. I was wondering if they were going to fight. And then when the call up came and they gave me the name, I was like, oh yeah, I remember. I wasn't sure which brother it was, but I do remember the last name. And I watched a couple of interviews, leading up into our fight, and he had a lot of trouble getting an opponent. A lot of the guys currently in the UFC were not accepting a fight with him. He said 4 fights fell out in that time frame. So he was really appreciative to get the opportunity to finally fight in the UFC. But for me, like I said, I didn't really care who I was going to fight because I know when you're fighting the UFC, there's no easy fight. But at the same time, someone like Lewis, on paper, he's a dangerous guy. He goes in and he knocked out everyone first round. And, when he starts people like that, of course, you can even see guys currently in the UFC, they don't even want to get near that. So I saw that as an even greater opportunity for me because I watched a little bit of his film and I could kind of get an idea of based on what he looks like physically, what kind of style of fight he'd bring. And I'm a long guy. I'm a pretty big guy for the 170 division. So he's on the smaller side, and whenever I usually have a reach advantage, length advantage, I'm really in an advantage position, and I feel very comfortable there. So I knew going into this fight, I felt very positive, very confident. I thought I was going to get him out in the first round, to be honest. I made one mistake that led to everyone thinking I was about to get finished, and then obviously I kind of settled my nerves a little bit, and then just kind of do what I usually do, like I said. And but yeah, full credit to Lewis. Like I said, the kid's tough, but I've been in battles all over the world. I haven't fought in a regular place more than once. I'm always in a different city, in a different country, fighting in a different organization. And I fought in title fights. I've won belts in higher weight classes. So my record doesn't necessarily show a ton of experience, but what I've been through in my career, and man, I've had over 20 fights fall out. I've had a lot of people not want to fight. So that's been a big battle for me. So now that I'm finally in the UFC, I can't really have that issue because if you don't take fights in the UFC, you ain't going to fight in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So I'm really at a point right now where I'll take any fight. I'll fight anyone at the 170-pound division as long as it gives me an opportunity to continue fighting. Because I have no reason to be sitting out and just hanging out and talking on social media. I need to be fighting regularly so people can see that I'm here. You know what I mean? Because right now people already forgotten me. That was in 2020. So I'm still waiting for that fight. I'm still waiting for that call up. I've sent out 9 names. I'm just waiting. So I'm just eager. I'm just rubbing my hands. I'm really, really just waiting to just get that call up. And when it does come, I'm going to, blast it all over the social media, and then we'll go and get it done again. So I'm just excited for that moment.
I heard a possible name, maybe a guy like Mike Perry, huh? I heard there was a little thing.
I think honestly, I would take that in a heartbeat, but I don't think I deserve it yet. Just being honest, maybe I need a couple more. We were on the same card. I actually, we crossed paths. Everything was cool. Nothing, no animosity there. I have nothing against the guy. But if the opportunity comes to fight someone like Mike Perry, that'd be great. He's a big name. A lot of people know him. He's a tough guy. So, that would it'd be a big opportunity for me. But right now, again, I will take anybody if they're, top 10 guy, or if they're a guy just floating around where I am. I don't care. I just want to be fighting, And
that's the attitude, the whole UFC brass loves, They love guys that are willing to go in there at any given time. And obviously, they already got a great introduction of what you can bring inside that octagon with that debut.
I would think so, right?
Yeah, man. That fight was epic, man.
I appreciate it.
Let me ask you this. I know this is probably something you get all the time, but now that I have you here live, it's pretty cool. Can you clarify? So you were born and raised in Hong Kong.
Correct.
And then did you live in New York? You wrestled in Buffalo?
So yeah, I was born and raised in Hong Kong. My mother is Scottish, my father is Russian. And I went to high school in Hong Kong. That's been home. That's always been home. I finished the last 3 years of high school in Australia. At that time, I was a rugby player. So I was playing rugby professionally straight out of high school. And then my parents were kind of like, sport doesn't last forever. We want you to get an education sort of thing. So I was very fortunate to be able to receive a scholarship to play rugby in Montreal, Canada. And that's where I kind of started to transition into MMA because of GSP and how much of a star he was in the country. And that was kind of like the first time I'd seen like what it was like to be a star fighter in a country, and his second fight against Matt Serra was something that caught my eye because a lot of people were interested. And I was like, man, I remember sitting there and thinking like, I can do this, but I had no experience on the ground. I had none. So at that time I was just a striker. I've been doing martial arts since I was 5, and striking has always just come very natural to me. But at that point in my age, I was 18 years old and I'd never even grappled before, so I was like, I'm playing rugby. This is my thing. And, after some time playing, college football, going through that process, I ended up in Buffalo. It didn't work out with football so much. I was kind of on the fringe of, being on the bench and getting on the field. And I really had, I was a really good punter. So I really was thinking maybe the NFL was something that could be an opportunity, but it didn't work out. And I was like a bit of an angry kid. I was a big kid too at the time. I was walking around at heavyweight, and I just joined a Buffalo boxing gym up in Buffalo. And next thing you know, I was training there 3 times a day, doing jiu-jitsu, MMA, helping the big guys get ready for pro fights. And 6 months later, they're like, man, you're pretty good at this. Like, you should try it. And ever since I was a kid, my parents were like, we don't want you to ever be a professional fighter or anything like that. And so I ended up taking an amateur fight. I knocked the guy out in the first 26 seconds, I think, or 24 seconds. It was really nice, and everything changed from that. And I went and competed as an amateur, and just obsessively put myself into the stuff that I wasn't good at. So the grappling, the wrestling, and I still do it to this day. It's the stuff that I'm not the best at, but it's the stuff that I have to be good at in order to fight the way I want to fight. And everybody likes a striker who wants to put people out, and I'm never going to be the guy that's going to hold on to somebody's leg and try to win the fight that way. So I think I'm an exciting guy. I come from a karate background. I got a lot of stuff up my sleeve. So I'm hoping, this year, if not too soon from now, we'll be seeing it live on TV. So
good stuff, man. So yeah, so you started off with the traditional martial arts. Oh, that's where your striking was, kind of karate. Was it a karate?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a point style fighting, so it was very like in and out. And if anyone was to ask me what I think one of my strengths are in fighting, it's my distance management, my eyes. I'm very good at knowing when I can get hit and when I can't get hit. And then if I do get hit, usually I can take a shot. But but with karate, yeah, exactly. And with karate, it's all about movement. And I thought that was something that transitioned really well when I competed in Muay Thai and boxing. And it was always a philosophy of fighting, switch stance. I don't have one stance. I fight out of both. So these are all things that I thought were very strong weapons that I brought to my game. And eventually, once I started to compete at the professional level, and to be honest with you, like the first few fights in my career were just like me hitting pads, hitting the bag, and just running on a treadmill and just going and fighting. I really didn't have like the real foundation that I needed, like I have today, to propel myself as far as I want to go. But I was just winging it, dog. Like I had no support. I was just like, I think I got this, so I'll just do it. And after kind of doing it a few times and getting it, the routine pat, the weight cut, everything, and then meeting and training with some of the best fighters in the world. I've been fortunate enough to train with, the current 170 champ, who I hope to one day cross paths with. Excuse me, the lights went out.
No worries.
And guys in Tiger, cross paths with some of the best fighters on this planet, and just learning from them and just kind of going through that journey, and finally now coming here to Vegas, which has always been a dream of mine since I was a kid, to live in the fight capital of the world. And now to finally be here and not only be in the UFC, I still I'm like, I'm in the UFC. Oh yeah. Like I don't really grasp it completely. Like I fought one time. I thought it was like, a one-off, but that's why I need to be regularly fighting. So I feel a part of this company. And I hope to be an employee that they like to put out there regularly. As long as I'm healthy, I'm always down to fight. And like I train, I put in the work, but at the same time, my battles are not in the gym. My battles are in the cage. And I'm doing everything in my power to not only improve, get better, get stronger, faster, but improve my technique, conditioning, everything, because this is my job, and I want to do it as best as I can.
Let me ask you this. If you don't have to pick one of the three, if it's all of them, but what would you say more so is your goal in this game right now? Is it to put gold upon your waist one day? Is it to be a fan favorite that always delivers when you step in there? Is it to put money in your pocket and have a successful life, and take care of your family or whatnot? Obviously, maybe it's all three, but is there one that kind of stands out more than the other, would you say?
Maybe when I was younger, I was like, yeah, I need that gold belt wrapped around my waist. And it still is the goal. I have a book that I've been writing in since 2013, and the same goal remains, to be a UFC champion. But at the same time, I don't want to be a guy that fans hate to watch. Like, I see some of these guys that are, the big names in the sport, and people despise watching them. They don't want to put their money into a pay-per-view to watch them fight. And I think that's, in my opinion, I wouldn't want to pay for that either. So if I can bring some form of excitement, some kind of, I feel like my style is very unique, and it's just different. So if people can kind of get along, if people are going to sleep, people are going to enjoy it. So if I continue to follow that, I truly believe people are going to want to tune in. And again, with that comes the money. And, I've never been like, oh, I'm doing this sport because I need to make money or I need to be famous. Like, this is a goal that I set a long time ago. I don't need to be a professional fighter. That's the beauty of this. I can sit on a computer and make money. And that's not what I want to do. That's the crazy thing, is I don't genuinely want to do that. I love doing what I do. I love to fight. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy, but I genuinely enjoy doing this. And to be able to do it full time and to be able to make money and get accolades and get respect. Respect is most important as well. As a martial artist, as a human being, I'm not going to go and trash people or disrespect people unless they come and bring it to me, because then we'll go. But honestly, man, I'm a martial artist. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I'm very, very goal orientated, very motivated, and when I have my eyes set on things, usually they come to fruition. So as long as I put in the work and keep doing what I'm doing, I think I'll be there eventually.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. All right, I'll give you a couple of quick questions if you don't mind. You can answer these in one word or just quickly.
Sure.
Would you prefer a knockout or a submission?
Knockout every time.
Yeah, favorite submission, if you could pull off any.
Favorite submission, the Go-Go Plata.
Go-Go Plata, there you go. Favorite city in the world to fight in?
Ooh, favorite city in the world to fight in. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say Hong Kong, because that's my home. And I'll tell you a quick story. So first time I fought in Hong Kong, I fought against the 2017 World Combat Sambo World Champ. He's from Korea. Usually they fly Koreans in to get easy fights against guys in Hong Kong. I was just at the wrong place, the wrong time for him, and I knocked him out in the second round. And that really opened my door to getting and competing in Korea. And just the experience of having my friends, family, people I grew up with in the stadium watching and cheering. It was a very, very cool moment for me. So I would say Hong Kong.
That's awesome. I'm hoping that you're able to rep some of that Hong Kong gear, man. And
I'm waiting. Yeah, I know that was a little bit weird, but yeah, we'll see how that unfolds.
Let's see. What's the best post-fight meal for you? Favorite post-fight meal?
Pizza always.
Pizza. There we go.
I mean, this past one I had Domino's, but I mean, it depends where you are. If I was ever fighting in
That's
New
not
York,
pizza. Domino's.
I mean, bro, I grew up eating Domino's in college. I'm sure you probably did too. You know, so every once in a while I indulge, because I mean, I'm not hating on pizza in Vegas. I just haven't really explored it that much, but I know what I'm getting when I order Domino's. So that was the first one.
I had pizza in Vegas one time. I think it was like 6 in the morning. I forget which one it was in, but the pizza was good from what I can barely remember.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the first job you ever had?
Ooh, the first job I ever had. So my dad, he ran a Russian restaurant in Hong Kong. And I wanted a new pair of like soccer cleats, rugby cleats, like, you know, boots. And my dad's like, all right, we'll get you these boots if you work for me for 2 months. And I didn't have any idea of the value of money. I was probably like 13. So I was like, sure. So he just had me like peeling potatoes, washing dishes, doing all this savage work, and then like gave me $200 for 2 months of work. So that was my first job, working with my dad at his restaurant. And then straight into college, I was a personal trainer at Planet Fitness. So
there you go.
there you go. So those are the first two.
Living the single life out there as a personal trainer.
Actually, wait a second. I played rugby professionally, so technically that was my
counts.
first job.
Yeah, that definitely counts.
But like regular job, yeah, that was, you know, personal trainer at Planet Fitness and potato peeler, one of the best.
Oh wow! All right, how about this one? What celebrity? If you could fight any celebrity in the world, who would you want to fight? Any celebrity?
Any celebrity?
You can say fight him or punch him in the face, whatever. Because I mean, I don't think there's a lot of celebrities that are going to give you a good run for your money.
I guess probably McGregor then, right? Fuck.
McGregor. Yeah.
He's a celebrity, right?
Yeah, man. Okay, McGregor.
I guess Jake Paul be easy money, right? You know, but I don't really beef with celebrities too much. They stay, as long as they stay in their lane. Like, I'm cool. I respect their business, what they do. But this whole YouTube crisscross thing is starting to get a little bit crazy. But I'm not a big enough name yet to I'm not in that position. But if there was ever an opportunity, like I already said, I would happily sign that contract and get it going.
Yeah, right. Nothing wrong with having a nice payday, man.
Hey, nothing wrong.
So where we're at now, hopefully we're gonna get a fight soon, right? That's where we're at. Maybe in the next couple of months, if everything's good.
I mean, I would hope for a phone call tonight, you know, but I'm hoping any of these days, I'm hoping I wake up, get a message from my manager. I've got like some kind of thoughts, maybe. They were talking about Singapore in April. I'm a Hong Kong guy, so maybe they'll put me on that card. Possibly. I think they're going to do 2 cards in Singapore. I don't know, but I'm just like, you know, thinking. And but like I said, I'm ready to go. I was hoping, like, after the fight, I was like, okay, you know, got the fight. They're going to be happy with me. Maybe they're going to get me out there in February, March. Doesn't appear like that's going to be the case unless something, you know, falls out short notice. But there's also a lot of welterweights about to fight as well.
Yeah.
I've also noticed there's quite a few matchups. So I'm not sure if maybe the matchmakers are waiting to see how that unfolds and then start matching stuff up. But yeah, man, I get at least 2 messages a day. I get, you know, people in the gym, hey, you know, you got to fight, you know what's going on. And at the moment, I'm just kind of just making sure my body's 100%. I'm feeling good. And then if anything does come up, then I'm ready to just, you know, dive right in and get it going. Cause there's nothing worse than, getting hurt and then, trying to take a fight. So I'm just trying to be safe and clean and just nice and healthy. And then when the opportunity comes, we'll get it going.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm excited to see who they match you up with next. You know, I think it was, like I said, man, the debut was an awesome thing. Obviously, you know, you were more in the Asian scene. You know, a lot of people are starting to catch on to what you're about. I think you're going to blow up in the sport, man. You know, after, you know, learning about you, I think you're an awesome dude. And like I said, I'm excited to see you in there, man.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you giving me the time, you know, coming on, and I want to give you the floor. If there's anything else you want to say, any sponsors you want to shout out, anything you want to say, man, to the fans watching.
Oh, no, yeah. I appreciate you for reaching out, giving me this platform to be able to speak to your viewers. I really do appreciate that. Shout out to Zephyr Apparel. They are my apparel sponsors. They're a Hong Kong-based company with some of the best technology involved in training performance. And I'm not one to promote garbage. So if you're ever in the market looking for some really, really good quality clothing, check them out. You know, shout out to Syndicate MMA, shout out to all my training partners at Syndicate. Everybody that just helps me get better, and, you know, keep your eyes on social media and Twitter and stuff like that. Maybe there'll be some announcements coming out. Sometimes that stuff even comes out before I even get to find out. So keep me posted and you know, slide into my DMs, let me know, you know, or ask me questions, and we'll see where we're going. And I'm just excited to go out there again and hopefully put on another display even better than the one I did. And I really appreciate, the guys that enjoy my style, that enjoy the way that I fight. And I hope I keep on putting more shows for you guys.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you will. And real quick, too, man, Syndicate MMA has really got it going on right now.
They
Jordan
do.
Levitt, right? He had an
Mm-hmm.
amazing, crazy slam knockout.
Absolutely.
Who else, man? He just had a big fight.
Well, we've got Natan Levy, who signed after his big win on the Contender Series, so he's also waiting to make his UFC debut. We have Sean Strickland.
Sean Strickland.
Yep,
Yeah,
Sean
man.
Strickland. We have Chris Curtis, who just recently fought a couple weeks ago and won by TKO in the 3rd round. He should be signed by the UFC. Sherrod is another guy who just fought in the Contender Series. He's not too far away from also being in the UFC, I predict, this year. Brandon Jenkins, another one. My man's about to fight for the title, Cage Aggression, in March. He's the human highlight reel. I can't wait to see him in the UFC soon. And the Syndicate team, they're just a bunch of hardworking guys. They really work hard, and it shows. And you'll start to see more and more guys, Justin Osborne, more and more individuals that are now coming up. They're going to start to get their opportunity, and you'll see there'll be quite a stable of high-level fighters coming out of Syndicate. And of course, John Wood, John Guns, Mike Pyle, Matthew Polino. That whole team right there is just kind of putting their touches on everyone, and it's showing. And of course, being in the UFC with the PI as well and working with the staff, they're amazing. They've literally changed so much in my life. It's crazy in such a small amount of time. And it's just all positive. This whole move to Vegas, I came here with a torn meniscus and a messed up groin, and I thought my career was on hold. And then just gotta stay positive. COVID hit, got surgery, got on that rehab wheel, and then went to Dubai, got that knockout, and then UFC. So it's just
it's crazy, right?
It's crazy when you think about it. Like, this time last year I was kind of depressed, didn't know what was going to happen, and then fast forward to now, and it's just like, just keep the ball rolling, dude. Okay. Just keep going with the punches, and hopefully get a good couple results in, and then hopefully I'll be knocking on that top 15 door, and hopefully a contender in a few years' time. So these are all the goals, and these are all the things that I'm working towards. So these guys at Syndicate have been such a huge help for that, and I can't wait to see like the finished product. It's only going to keep getting better and better. So yeah.
Shout out to Mike Pyle too, man. I was a big fan of Mike Pyle's back in the day. It's funny bringing up his name, man. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Good stuff.
He's funny, man. He's a funny dude. And just him being in the game and his experience fighting in the UFC, he'd be able to give you these little things that just, small attention to details that just help. And you just don't get that everywhere when you train, and it's just a different perspective. And Las Vegas is a fighting town, and when you run into people, you're going to meet people from different places with different concepts, different ideas. So like I said, like my strength and conditioning coach, Lorenzo Pavlica, and his family, they've taken my training to another level, my health, everything. It's just like I've only received positive influences from being in Vegas, and I'm super happy, and I'm just super appreciative that's the case. Some people don't get that lucky, and sometimes in this game you got to get a little bit lucky and run with that, and I feel like I did. I'd rather get that luck in the UFC than at the casino, so it worked out. And now that I got that golden ticket, I hope that the next admission is another one, so I can just keep that, like I said, ball rolling, and hopefully putting more $50K in my bank account, and then just keep going from there. Fight of the night, Now I need a performance bonus. I got that one done, so now I need a performance bonus.
Yeah, right. Put a bunch of those in your pocket, right? Performance bonus, get all that stuff, man. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, man. I'm sure all that's gonna happen, man. I'm sure that's definitely gonna happen for you, man. I foresee it, and they call me the fortune teller, right? I mean,
we gotta talk some MMA handicap stuff on the weekend, dog. We gotta.
Yeah, man. Hey, anytime, bro. Anytime.
For sure.
Yeah. I love talking about that type of stuff.
My 2021 this year has not been a good year in terms of my picks. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. This last card was shaky for me myself, man. This last card caught me off guard.
Yeah, I was like eight for 12, which is like so far this year was okay, but I've been, I don't know, since ever I got, now that I'm in the UFC, my betting has gone to shit. I don't know what happened. So
Yeah, it's supposed to get better, man. You got to get all the insight over there.
dude, bro, that time when I was training at the Black Zillions back in 2015, oh,
That's
the odds lines were just a different thing. You know,
yeah. That's the
when
thing.
Ronda Rousey fought Holly Holm, like what were they thinking? You know, I made a
I know.
fortune, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and there were certain fights that they just didn't really understand yet, and they would give like insane money lines, and I was just like, wow, this is great. You know, being in people's camps and kind of getting that insight. But don't get me wrong, when the Syndicate boys fight, you know, but it's different now. They make it a little bit safer, except for when they put the odds on me. That's when they
Yeah,
lost.
right.
So
Exactly, man.
I
It
was
was
like,
crazy. I
really?
think
I
it was
was
like,
like,
yeah, plus 400. I think you were like, was it a plus 300 or something? Right
no,
around
it was
300.
440 was the highest,
Yeah.
440. And I think I got myself at 410. I put on myself at 410, and
Wow.
I was like, this is crazy. Really, you guys are gonna do me like that? I was like, all right, so
Yeah.
fuck it.
You know, I think maybe what it was, you know, Kosi had a lot of hype. I mean, he's finishing everybody in the first round, which that's a red flag in itself, right? A guy that's never left the first round. The only thing that I saw was his brother shown to have good cardio. And they almost look like twins. So I kind of assumed that Kosi would have some good cardio as well.
I expected that, but
You know,
didn't. Yeah,
yeah, right. He faded. He started to fade, but the pace was crazy too. But your cardio was
yeah.
amazing, man. You were just in
That's
there. You could have won 10 or 20 rounds. It looked like, man. You weren't stopping.
yeah. The third, it was weird. Like first round, second round, then there's like the third round. I started to really feel like the gears kicking in, and then I eventually finished him. Was like, man, I feel good. You know,
Yeah,
that was
right.
3 rounds. It's different. Like when you train to get ready for a 5 round fight, 3 rounds just feels like it's like a cakewalk. You know what I mean? And then like you can start to kind of play with how much effort you want to put in at certain. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but like you just get so familiar with your energy levels after fighting for 25 minutes that when you fight 15, you know when to like go and you know when to kind of like ease off. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of so
When you
it
were,
was a really good lesson to learn early in my career fighting 5 rounds. So
yeah, yeah.
it
And when you
works.
were fighting Kosi in that fight, did you feel like I mean, obviously you can kind of see the momentum change, right, from
Mm.
the first half of the first round to the second half of the first round. But did you feel it when you were in there? Did you feel like that momentum kind of changed? Did you see something was up maybe towards the end of that first round?
Yeah, like when I landed, I think that spinning back fist at the end of the first round, that's when I knew like, oh yeah, he's done. Like his gat, like I could see it, like the way he walked back to, he was kind of like out on his feet a little bit. So I was like, okay, I was like cautious. I was like, okay, he might have good recovery, come out strong, but he shot for that single on me like as soon as we touched gloves, and I was like, oh, he's done. Like, so but at the same time, I knew he had power, so I was just trying to be at the end of things at the range, and then I got caught with a nut shot, and that kind of disrupted things a little bit. But I'm the kind of guy that like once I establish myself in the fight, then like I just get going. But once like disruptions happen, it just like has to restart the clock for me to get back into my groove. So eventually, like I said, first round like started off kind of bad, and then I started to pick it up in the end of the first, and then I kind of took over at the end. And then second round, I was like, okay, time to take over. Then there was that nut shot break, and I was like, all right, fuck, come back again. We kind of reset. And then that third round came out after he hit me with that nut shot again.
Yeah.
I just was like, I'm going to take as much time as I can, just recover here, and then just go out. Like, I just was like, I got to get him out now. Because I thought I was losing for some reason at the point of that incident. So I was like, I need to finish him or do something that the judges see to win me this fight. And, yeah, it came out, just felt good, and then put him down.
If I remember correctly, too, I think it was in the third round, there was a right hand that you hit him with that was, like, perfectly placed. You know what I mean? It was completely on the end of the punch. You know what I mean? You had it fully extended, and you hit him nice with that. I think that's what started this to set up that point where you pulled it up. I think it was.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, like I like jabbed in and out on him. I landed a couple, and then he kind of just like turned his head a little bit, thinking like I was gonna reset, and that's when I like came in with the right hand, hit him like right on the jaw, and then he was kind of like out of it. I was kind of close, and I landed like a 4-piece, and then he shot, and then after he shot, it was like everyone makes fun of me. They call me the inflatable flailing arm man. The Carlos. But no, it was just like because that dude was hitting me in the back of the head illegally.
Oh, yeah.
So when he was in that position, I was like, okay, this knuckle has to land, this knuckle has to land. So I was just landing on those angles, making sure everything was legal so that there was no excuses to penalize me in any way. Because I knew deep down they wanted him to win. So that was their guy, So I was like, I had to do everything, but at least to get it out of there and put it in the judge's eyes that I won that fight. So thankfully, the ref stopped him and stepped in and got my hand raised. So that's all that matters.
He definitely, I mean, obviously you know better than me when you lived it, but he definitely hit you in the back of the head like crazy in the beginning of that first round. I remember running.
Bro, I mean, so listen, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, were you hurt? Like, did he hurt you in that fight?" And like, dude, like, I'm not like trying to be like a tough guy. Like, that's not my thing. I'll be honest with you straight up. I get hurt in practice worse. Like I've been hit harder by Strickland. But he did hit me in the back of the head, and I did lose my equilibrium. So all I remember thinking was, I have to control the wrist and get back to my feet. I'm losing. That's all I remember thinking. And then being like, oh, now my balance is off. That's weird because I'm not really used to it. And then I'm like, just separate. That's what I said. Separate, regather, you're good. But we start, and I'm stupid too because I'm always like, oh, you hit me, I'm going to hit you. So we kind of traded on that part where my equilibrium was off. I hit one shot, and I think he landed like 2 or 3. And the last one that hit me it wasn't even hard. That's how funny it was. He hit me harder previously, but it like touched my jaw, and I was like, why am I falling? And like, I just fell. And that's when he came in and started to try to finish me on the ground. And same thing. I was just like, I just got to get back to my feet. I'm fine. Like, you're good. So as soon as I got back to my feet that time, I think I threw an elbow. And then once we split, I was like, oh, my balance is back. We good. But I never felt like my brain was hurt or my vision was messed up or I didn't know where I was. I was completely there. But on camera, and thanks to also Joe Rogan, he really like hyped it, to make it like, oh, it's all like,
it was
like,
over. It was almost over to Joe.
Yeah. So I think that really actually helped me out in making it look like, oh, this kid's really hurt and he's recovering and he's coming back. So in all honesty, I don't think I was really hurt, but it just looked that way,
Yeah.
But yeah, once he kind of like did what he did and he cut me and like he did what he needed to do to make everyone think that he was in control of the fight. But like I said, once you get hit by me a couple times, then your gas tank starts to go. And if you can't get me out, then you got to hang with me for another 2 more rounds. And he couldn't. So, and it was funny because I'm a guy that like, I put things in my backpack and I think I leave him there for a while. And I heard an interview with him and he's like, yeah, I'm going to break this dude's jaw. I'm going to break his will. Like, I'm going to end him. And like, don't get me wrong, like that's what you would expect to hear from most fighters, but like at the same time, I'm like, all right, dude, like you got a big ass to match up to. So when he couldn't answer to the bell, it just kind of like elevated me even more. And again, I had so much support and, I'm not just a kid from California. I'm a kid from Hong Kong with a lot of international love. And, so I had to win, I couldn't just go in there and not. So, full credit to Lewis. I'm sure he's going to come back super strong, and the kid's got a future for sure. Just get that cardio down, and I'm sure he's going to be out, banging people. But I'm just excited to just, like I said, fight higher level people, the guys that have been in the UFC. I want to fight guys that have been there, people that are known, people that have people's expectations of them are very high. I want to challenge that. I want to experience that and see if I'm, at that level too. And I'm pretty sure once that opportunity comes and I start to climb that ladder, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure the opportunity is there. I mean, you see it with some of these guys, like that guy Kamzat Chimaev. I mean, he's only had he had a couple fights in the UFC, but he's getting thrown to the top of the division, right? In the division too.
For sure.
It's definitely realistic to do, man. You go in there and you already took one step towards that direction. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like I said, I'm going in there and, I don't go in into fights thinking I'm going to knock people out. I just do what I do. And usually at the tail end of what I do, it will finish that way. And I think if I continue to do that, especially now that I'm feeling healthy and I'm ready to go, if I get a nice early finish in my next fight, I think, I can definitely start asking for something and definitely, get some bigger opportunities. Cause right now I don't like this little holiday that I'm on.
Yeah.
So So hopefully, 2021 started a little bit slow, but on the back end, second half, what are they? Second quarter, I guess, third quarter, fourth quarter of this year, we can just, at least get 3 fights. That would be ideal. Sean Shelby, if you're listening to this,
Yeah, right.
hook up
Let
your
him know.
boy.
Yeah. Let's get it going, man.
Let's
The
get it
fans are
going.
waiting. And
There
man,
we
well, I
go.
appreciate you. And I want to send you over. I'll send you over one of my plays for this weekend. I'm curious your thoughts upon it. So
Let's
I'll
do
send
it.
you a DM. Yeah, man. I'm curious
Yeah,
what your
shoot.
thoughts are on that, man.
For sure.
And it was great talking with you, man. Anytime you ever want to come on, like normally I do these on YouTube or whatnot. I'm bringing it over here on Instagram now, but I'm going to be doing these weekly. And anytime you ever wanted to come on or anything, man, you have an open invitation, and I appreciate you. So
Feel free to shoot me a message whenever you like. Same thing, you want to talk UFC stuff or you want to go on and talk. I like this stuff. I like the opportunity to talk, get my message out. People find out who I am, even if it's one person and they want to watch me fight. That's dope, and you help me do that. And if I help you get content, then fantastic.
yeah,
We're both winning.
Man.
So
I've seen a couple people commenting, man. They're like, you know what I mean? People are appreciating what you're about. I see the comments, so people are like, it's true.
I appreciate you guys too, because we wouldn't be nothing without you guys in the sport. So I just hope that you continue to enjoy what we do, and hopefully we'll shoot some more shit after the next scrap, or whenever the next this weekend, whenever you're going to talk about some of the main events or anything like that. You can always shoot me a message.
Good stuff, man. All right, brother.
All right, dude. Take care. Have a good one, brother.
You too. I'll see
you.
Be
good. Peace.
Peace, man. Awesome stuff, man. As you see, man, Sasha's an awesome dude, man. I really appreciated chatting it up with him there. And again, we were talking about that Kosi fight. Obviously, you guys probably all seen that fight. I'm sure you guys have. It was one of the best fights we've had in some time, but that fight was epic. Of course, Kosi had all the hype going into that fight. The Kosi brothers, they made a splash in Dana White's Contender Series. But I feel like Sasha took all that steam from Lewis in that fight. So really, really excited to see who he's fighting next. And, man, this guy, he's 31 years old, ex-AFC champ. This guy has a crazy frame, man, too. Crazy frame for the division. I even heard some rumors that the UFC, the PI, they want to put some more weight on him. They think he can put some more weight on, which is kind of crazy to me because he has a big frame for the weight class, in my opinion, or at least a solid frame. So we'll see him even maybe bulk up a little bit. I didn't get a chance to ask him about that, but we were talking for quite a bit, and I think it was good. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Keep an eye on him. I'm telling you guys right now, man. Sasha Palatnikov, this guy is the real deal. And I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Let me know what you guys think. As far as MMA live discussion over here on Instagram. Obviously, normally I do it on YouTube. I think I might start doing it here more regularly. Some people are saying it's a little bit more, it's easier, accessible for them and whatnot. But you guys let me know what you think. I could always change it back and forth, this and that, whatever. And we got a nice weekend ahead of us, right? A solid fight card. Of course, we got the welterweight championship on the line, UFC 258. I'm actually still finalizing some plays for this card, so I really need to make something happen here. The last card wasn't the best for me, and I think we have some golden opportunities here with some value out there. As I was asking Sasha, I'm going to send him over one of my plays, and I'm curious what he thinks about it. But again, boys, boys and girls, I appreciate all you guys. And, at this point, we'll signing out, the teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.